It's an extremely deep privilege to be here. मत आज सकाळे बागची सर कहले कि ओडिया रे ओपनिंग करिवो इंग्लिश बेसी कहबनी काली ठू मत टेंशन लागलानी केमती ओडिया रे स्पीच ता देबी मो आगुरे दुईटा भल ओडिया रे स्पीच हला सो मो जो स्पीच लेखिक आसीथिले तार किछि काम दबनी आउ एनीवे मु ट्राई करिवि Today I am here not representing any institution, but me as an individual who was truly made in Odisha. Mu Odisha re janma heitala moro ite mu eiti badichi mo foundation ta eiti create heitala ta upare me chhot chhot building create kali aaj bhi create karuchi agu ku bhi create karibi. So ei foundation mo pe jo create heitala Odisha re has still giving me a lot of advantage. I am very proud of that to call myself made in Odisha. जब संजय जी और बागची सर मत फोन करले कि एटा मतलब टॉपिक अच्छी तुम आसब मो पाखे मो स्केड्यूल टे चैलेंज थिला किंतु एत बढ़िया टॉपिक को मुझे छाड़ी इच्छा नाला मुझे छुट्टी नहीं आसी मु काली सिंगापुर बैक करी ऑफिस को गोटे दिन छुट्टी नहीं कि आपण संगे इंटराक्ट करी आउ किछि जानिबी नुआ जिनस आ प्लस किछि शेयर करी. बिफोर आई स्टार्ट माय स्पीच मु टेके डॉक्टर संतोष मिश्र गोटे एग्जाम्पल देले थॉट लीडरशिप तार गोटे मु बड़ एग्जाम्पल निजे जैसे 2015 सर मुझे मत सिंगापुर गवर्नमेंट कहला टू बिकम ए चीफ फिनटेक ऑफिसर मु 6 मास पे बुली आसली चारि ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड मत समस्त कहले सिंगापुर फिनटेक किसी चांस नहीं जीरो यू डोंट हैव ए ह्यूज मार्केट तुम कौन फिनटेक करिवो मु आसिली बैक करली मु भाविली चाकरीटा मुझे छाड़देवी बैक टू सिटी बैंक जड़े मत कहला जे डू समथिंग बिल्ड सम थॉट लीडरशिप मत लगला से कहते गोटे सेमिनार कर छोट सेमिनार 100टा लोक आसिले डिस्कसन करवा जे केमती सिंगापुर गोटे फिनटेक स्ट्राटेजी हो मु गोटे अजाणतार गोटे वेबसाइट रे पकईदेली कि आम यहाँ डिस्कसन करवा ग्लोबली आसत लीडर मैंने आसिक आम साथ डिस्कसन करूँ से वेबसाइट रे विदिन 2 months 1000टा लोक कहले वी वांट टू जॉइन मो स्टाफ मत कहले आम गोटे रेगुलेटर आम एटा इवेंट कंपनी नुहे एटा बंद कर तापर जड़े वेरी सीनियर लेडी गली कहली मत टे कष्ट हम यहाँ करने आपन साहय करेंगे आ मिसिकी इवेंटा करवा मुझे गोटे एक्सपैंड करी से वेबसाइट रे आई अलाउड मोर रजिस्ट्रेशन टू कम विदिन 2 months 4000 लोक कहले आसी से जॉइन करेंगे से सेमिनार को आम ता ना चेंज करदेलु सिंगापुर फिनटेक फेस्टिवल कहलु. मंथ ऑफ नवेम्बर यूएस सिलेक्शन से Trump was likely to win the election, President Trump. जो दिन से इलेक्शन डिक्लेयर हला मो वेबसाइट क्रैश करीगला 8000 लोक वांट टू रजिस्टर फॉर दिस इवेंट. आज से इवेंट इज वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट ग्लोबल माइंड शेयर फॉर थॉट लीडरशिप इन फिनटेक. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट प्लेटफॉर्म सिंगापुर रे 2015 रे $20,000 Mr. $20,000 total fintech investment in 2015. Guess what is today? $4 billion. 5 वर्ष रे गोटे प्लेटफॉर्म ग्लोबल थॉट लीडरशिप माइंडशेयर प्लेटफॉर्म $20 million को करदेला $4 billion. So I absolutely agree with you. Building a global thought leadership is the fastest way to create a global powerhouse. Thanks for sharing that in your speech. देखिए मो स्पीच भी भूली गली मु तापर कहबी जते बड़े बागची सर मत कहले एटा स्पीच एटा आसिक आबिस डिस्कशन करंतु मु बाला सर को देखा कली खारबेल भवन रे मते बाला सर कहले दुईटा वर्ड कहले एंटिक्विटी एंड कंटिन्यूटी से दुईटा वर्ड मो मुंडरे पसला पर मु 100टा लोक कहि सालेनी एई दुईटा वर्ड सिखली बाला सर पाखु एते मते इंपैक्ट करजी दुईटा वर्ड कि this is true essence of future of Odisha. In my sense, in 2036, Odisha will not merely inherent its antiquity, but it's going to thrive upon it. Because our vision definitely should be based on the culture of antiquity. Why? I believe the essence of antiquity is humanity. It is a humanity which makes us distinctly different from other parts of the world. So, Balasar, I'm going to add third word, antiquity, continuity, humanity. So this should be the three words on basis of which we should build the 2036 plan. Mate bahut loka pacharanti, based on your foundation in Odisha, how could you do what you do? I think one of the simplest answer is that I developed a skill set of human empathy. And that is a single way which I could succeed in my life. So having that humanity as part of your culture, value system truly works. So what should be the plan for 2036? ମୁଁ ଆଜି ତିନିଟା ଜିନିଷ କହିବି. One is beyond growth, beyond profit, beyond degrees. But I'm going to start with a very serious topic. And the first point is, how do we deal with one of the most existential crises of our lifetime? Upon global warming, it is a real crisis. Odisha has got a long 480-kilometer coastline. We have the world's second largest mangrove. We have a great lake, Chilika Lake. Most of our iconic temples are on the coastline. 30% of our GDP or 30% of our population stay on the coastal districts. And if the world at large fails to meet its goal by 2050, the water level is going to rise by half a meter by 2100 years. At 2100, it should be more than a meter. Significant part of Odisha's GDP will collapse. Significant part of our ecosystem will collapse if you don't focus on this issue. Right, I would have both serious issue. Our 2036 plan should consider by design sustainability. By design, it should be ESG, environmental, social and governance construct. Because if you don't look at it, we'll see a massive impact to our economy. Millions of people will get displaced, coastal lands will submerge, there'll be a lot of salination of the soil, marine fisheries will get affected, and we'll have a widespread damage to our broad societal construct. So what should we do? If you look closer, there is some hope. In fact, Balasaran Kothali, because I was preparing for the speech, I went and did some research. And I was surprised to find Odisha government has a climate budget. It is such a surprising, delightful surprise to me that Odisha government has a climate budget. I don't think many places in the world actually think in this way. And I'm also surprised the quality of data, the quality of construct they build in the budget is world class. And the numbers are actually speaking to it. If we look at today's Odisha's effort of the climate budget, today I think Odisha has achieved close to 5 gigawatt of renewable energy. The forest cover has moved from 21% to 24%. Mission Shakti program is actually designing women empowerment on sustainable programs, which is truly an outstanding effort because 70% of your economy will be SMEs, and that is dominated in Odisha by women. Why should, that's whole focus will change everything we do in this space. We all know Odisha's State Disaster Management Authority is a global benchmark best practice of how to deal with this crisis. And I believe that that climate resilient infrastructure is a big part of this authorities thinking about long-term plans for Odisha to deal with climate change. But our journey shouldn't end here. We should look not only at 2036, we should look at a clear roadmap for a net zero emission by 2050. So one of the requests to the policymakers in this room is to build a plan by 2050. Can Odisha achieve net zero? There should be a policy statement which should come out about the 2036 plan to get Odisha to a net zero emission. And if Odisha can do it, it will be truly a global benchmark of how to get there in the most efficient way. But I want to leave with you on this particular topic few ideas. I think there are few areas we should look at. Renewable energy should be a big part of our thinking. Solar, wind, biomass should be a pillar of our new energy sources. Sustainable agriculture should be part of the practice. We should find a way to fund farmers to look at climate smart practices. Singapore, a small island, is very much worried about our existence because we are surrounded by water. And we believe in 100 years we may get submerged. So we've got to prepare for it now. We can't just leave it to the end part of the likely crisis point. We should also have to empower our citizens to understand what does it mean. We need a lot of educational program. We need a lot of upgrade to our school curriculum at high school level, at the college level, at the tertiary level, understanding the impact of climate. I think that's the key to the success of getting there. So I would request everybody a collective call for action for everybody, for businesses, for farmers, for citizens, civil society to come together to think about this existential crisis of climate change. But I'm going to leave with one big idea. And Bakshi sir, this is something we've got to think very carefully. One of the biggest hindrance to climate change is lack of data. And the second part is disclosure. How do we get people to disclose data about climate issues? So one of the things Singapore is working very strongly is building a national level utility called disclosure platform for small businesses, for individuals, for corporate to disclose data about ESG. I think what Odisha need as part of your 2036 thinking is to build a disclosure platform, frictionless, digital, so that we can get enough data for the policymakers to make the right choices and get the right finance to fix it. So that will be one big idea in the space of sustainability. Moving on, kitna time achi, sir? 3 minutes. Okay, that's a challenge. 4 minutes. The second idea is, how do you think about beyond profit? Because we are a state of abundant resources, very vibrant culture, very resilient people, and our challenges are plenty. We have a lot of inequality still. We still have challenges in getting people access to digital platforms. But do we want to think about creating a framework where profit is the motive of our growth? The answer is no. We got to figure out to build a framework where it should be equitable, green, and digitally native. Let me quickly explain each of them. And I think Odisha is doing a tremendous job in this space, especially on the financial inclusion. And Sujata madam's effort on Mission Shakti is truly around financial inclusion. And I just told her she's in a big demand outside India to come and share her success story. So we hope get to learn some lesson from Odisha how to build inclusion finance. But there are two things we got to think about it. There are three areas where we should focus on to build a beyond profit strategy is to create an impact investing fund, because we need capital to fund these things. It's very difficult to only have public money to support impact. We got to have a blended finance structure where we can bring private money and mix with public money to build that impact. So we need a lot of impact financing capital with this partnership. Second thing, we got to create a climate finance capital. It's absolutely necessary. If you don't build it, how are you going to green your economy? And then how to build a sustainable financial architecture? And lastly, which is very technology focused, is called embedded finance. How do you make finance digitally embedded in every sector so that whenever you need credit, cash, capital, it is part of the transaction, whether you are in education or you are in health services or you are doing, let's say, travel and tourism. Finance should be deeply integrated in that whole construct as an embedded finance. So I hope that this triple bottom line strategy should work and will help Odisha to look at a new framework for how to finance the growth without profit being the main objective. I'll go to a minute, sir. The third part of my thinking is how to think beyond degrees. And I think I can deal with 1 minute because the biggest expert in this big hall is sitting here, Mr. Bakshi sir, who has done tremendous work in this space. And he thinks about how to develop skill set beyond degrees. I have only 3 words there. We should think about 3 elements of human body: heart, mind, and hand. When it comes to mind, we have professional degree. When it comes to hand, we have vocational skills. But one thing we are missing, it is heart. How do you teach empathy to people? Because we got to, in the new world, we got to bring it together. We got to bring heart, mind, and hand together. I think what Odisha needs, a lot of focus on the education side to see how can you teach empathy to people. Because in the world we live in, kindness becomes the single strength of your personal professional development. We got to be kind people. We got to be nice people. We must show respect to everybody. To me, that's a single skill set we miss today. If you have it, I can tell you, the world is yours. Thank you very much.